Get started, so we're going to do it with this technique of he's putting this knee shield on me. I'm doing what we call a leg weave. I'm trying to grab his bottom knee here. This hand for right now, I can just be grabbing his wrist or pulling on his head. I'm going to put some pressure on him, and when I feel him push me back, I'm going to let him push me and pull this top knee. So my hand's going to switch from here to here. Give a pull, and as soon as I get in front of it, fall down, and then walk him flat with my legs. All right, so this is the first step. Walk them flat. Do the leg weave, pull the knee, throw yourself in right here, land with your rib real heavy on his solar plex, and turn towards his legs like this. If y'all haven't been here this week, some details about this position. This foot's gotta be active. All right, if this foot is lazy, I can't respond whenever you guys to knock me over that way, which is the way everybody gets knocked over. If they mess up here, they get bridged over like this. Probably happened to a lot of you already. We're going to stop that today. We're going to prevent that today. Get your rib on them well, and always walking them flat. If you overcommit your weight one way, make sure it's this way. Because I can post in my hand, I can post in my head. It's hard to roll me that way. All right, but I don't want to be too heavy going back. My hands, this one, my elbow's always squeezing in against the hip, so if he tries to shrimp, it's a little bit harder for him to go too far. All right, if they try to push me away, I can switch to hugging, but my hands are really, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. They can do a lot of stuff. All right, what's the word I'm looking for? Free, but it's gonna come to me in a minute. Anyway, so this is the position that we're getting to. Feel that pressure with the rib on them and keep them flat. All right, one more time. All right, we're gonna play with this just for a few minutes, working this entry, trying to make it smooth. So as soon as I land, I'm turning, I'm getting my weight on them. I'm on my toes with both of my feet and ready to respond to them going crazy, bucking, trying to make space. I would like for him to go ahead and shrimp a couple times, bridge a couple times. Now, if I ever feel like I can take my foot out, I want to go ahead and do that. Because a lot of times, they give it to you guys. You don't even have to do anything else. All you got to do is wait for them to bridge, and then your foot's going to come free, and just take it right out. It's very hard for him to get an effective bridge and hold my leg. Right? Whenever he holds my leg and bridges, the bridge's super weak. You can't really, it's not that threatening. All right, so watch for it to come free. Otherwise, if he's holding the leg, shrimping, we're just following. Always following, putting them back flat. Never letting them be a little bit on their side like this. Even this much is way too much on their side. Walk them flat. All right, let's play with this. We'll come around, check everybody, make sure the position is solid. We'll move on. Hands up, 1, 2. All right, let's take a look at attacking the far side arm there. And yeah, we'll finish it. So here. Put them flat here. This arm, if it's kind of in front of us here at all, we can attack it. We're going to bring this arm over, and I want you to aim your elbow right above his elbow. You just pinch in right here. All right, so this arm swims over. A lot of times they're underhooking us or something. This is great. We're going to hug under here and just pinch in right by their elbow, above their elbow a little bit. This hand, this is great because Brad got some long ass arms. But you see how his hand is so far behind me, it's hard to reach. People reach for this all the time and they blow it because in order to reach, I have to twist, and I'm starting to get off balance and put my back toward the mat there. I'm getting my pressure off of them. So this is the secret. Whenever the hand is way behind you, you got to pull yourself down towards his legs. I grab under that leg, and I pull myself down, and I get to where my chest is really pushing his hand in front of me. This elbow, super important right here. Try to get your arm out of here, Brad. You can hold it pretty good. And often as they're trying to get out, we get this hand. All right, so once we get the hand, and notice I'm saying grab the hand. Don't grab the wrist. They're way stronger here. You don't have nearly as good a control. I want you to grab your whole hand below their wrist. All right, right away, push down to the mat and get your other hand locked up here. Now, the actual Kimura is hard to finish here when I'm in half guard. first thing we're going to do is look at just hitting the straight arm bar. I'm just going to try to straighten his arm. Really simple. This needs to be above the elbow. If you get too low with this, it'll never attack the elbow joint. In order to attack the elbow joint, this arm has to be a little bit above that elbow. This hand, you're just straightening it out. It's not rocket science, but it takes a little bit to figure it out. Just feel good with it here, okay? If you're having a hard time with this one, a lot of times we'll get out there on the wrist. Just start attacking the wrist now. Because we're already on the hand grip, so it's a really easy transition. Just start bending their wrist. All right, so one more time. Get in front of the knee shield here. Turn. If we see this arm, come over and really pinch tight with your elbow, right above their elbow. Already going to be hard for him to get his arm back. Go ahead here, Brad. Really hard already. I'm going to grab the hand, get it down, and get my hands locked together. I prefer to attack the straight arm bar first. It's a real easy thing to attack, so I just start straightening his arm out, nice and controlled. There's really not a lot to it, but if you're struggling with it, call me over. It does take a little practice, feels weird at first, but once you get it, it just feels real easy. And like I said, you can add the wrist to it at the end if you want. If his hand is here, we have to pull ourselves down. Guys, this is an important movement right here. Reach under that leg. A lot of times I'll grab my hands together right by their butt and really pull myself down and walk them flat. Still squeezing in with this the whole time, so it's hard for him to get his hand back. But now it's a lot safer for me to reach. You see, I'm not having to turn and twist so much for that grab. I can get his hand right here in front of me, lock it up, and start trying to straighten it out. All right, let's play with this, guys. Hands up. 1, 2. Once I have a Kimura grip, the way that you can break out of this is to extend your arm. Just extend the arm super straight. And if I don't have a strong enough grip, he can break out that way. Or I'll follow along with a straight arm. But in theory, that's the way they break out, is through the fingers. All right? They don't try to curl their hand in to break out. It's always straight in the arm. So when I put my thumb over, it makes it stronger. I can put my whole hand over now. So if he tries to straighten, it's way harder for him to do. I have more leverage to stop that. So once you have a Kimura locked up, I think a lot of times, and right now is one of them, it's good to let go with the thumb grip and just go all the way over. They call it like a monkey grip. All right? But when you're grabbing a Kimura, this grip sucks. This makes no sense. All right? You've got to grab like this at first. Now I have some control of his hand. Now I can get it locked up. And I don't have to let go of that. I can work with this. But basically when I decide I'm going to the arm bar, my thumb sometimes, and you might have felt this, I'll do it right now. Go ahead and come up. It starts to get a little awkward right here, and I can't use it on the other side like I wanted to. So if you want, you can bring it over now. But that's the basic way I think about it. If I have it all the way locked up, thumbs like this is fine. But it's also fine like this. I don't have a huge rule about this. But for sure, before it's locked up, you need to use your thumb like this. All right, don't grab like this. He can just whip out so easy. Just on the hand, lower than the wrist, and then the whole thumb wrap here. Let's do it, guys. Hands up. 1, 2. So turn here, and I get to my Kimura grip. He's holding my leg right here still. Like I said, the Kimura is a little hard to finish from half guard because their back is on the mat, and if I just put out here, like, you run out of room, you know? It's a very good defense for him to open his hand, stick it on the mat, open your hand there, Brad, and then just don't let me lift him up. It makes it very hard to finish. If he tries to make himself heavy here, it makes it hard. All right, so I don't even usually try. I don't usually try to finish the actual Kimura here. I like to roll out like this. You're gonna put your head down and slide your hips across his chest, and you'll land above his head like this. You're gonna really learn the power of the Kimura when you play this position because you have no bodily control, you're not laying on him at all, but this is enough to control him. Notice I've got his arm bent, his hand on his body, and I kind of got my arms flexed out keeping this tension on it all the time. I can't be loose with this here. I want to always keep his elbow off the mat. Try to turn towards me here, Brad. I never want to let his elbow touch the mat. That's going to help me stop him, or it's going to stop him from getting up. Turn to your knees over here, Brad. If I let him put his elbow on the mat, this can happen. Not the worst thing in the world, but it complicates things a lot. It makes a lot more work. So if I keep that elbow up, try to get up again the same way, he can't. And my forearm here holds his shoulder down. He's got amazing control of his body right here. Almost every time, they try to roll up this way. Go ahead again, Brad. And we're going to take advantage of that. Slide our bottom leg in all the way, top leg over the head, put us back on the mat, and we'll finish our arm work. Super fun to drill. I'll do this. Turn, flatten them out, get to my Kimura grip. It doesn't really matter where his hand is, but a lot of times I like to put it on their hip. This way, as I'm rolling out, if he's trying to hold my leg super tight, Brad, yeah, like this, I can kind of hold his hip away, you see, and help me get my leg out some. Now at this point, I can use my other foot and kick that last little bit when they're being very stubborn, right? He's gonna try to roll up. I'm gonna take advantage of that. Let him roll up enough to give me space to slide my knee in deep until my foot hooks against his back. Then I throw my leg over, and look at how I can squeeze my knees together as I come up. I think the biggest mistake I see every time I teach this, people don't put this knee in enough, and then they get here, and the guy's like laying on your leg, and it's hard to get your knee squeezed up, and so it's just a little bit awkward to finish. So you want to go in super deep with that, leg over, and as you put them down, your knees stay together. Here. Let's talk about extending this and finishing it. I see a lot of people set up beautiful arm bars and blow it right here, just switching their grip randomly to extend their arm. He doesn't have a grip right now, so I want to keep that, start bringing it back, always keeping it under tension. And this is a critical moment right here. I leave my thumb on this side of his hand, and I swirl my fingers around and grab his hand like this. So I never took off tension. Try to get your hand away from me here, Brad. I can control it all the way back and then double up to where we're on the hand with both of our hands. So again, you can't just let go right here and switch and grab. That's a risk to take right there because you lose all control of his wrist for a moment. You're gonna leave your thumb, swirl your fingers around to finish, okay? Let's do one more time. Whole thing. Get your Kimura grip, roll out, let them come up, slide the knee in, leg over, and finish safely on that transition, okay? Let's go, guys. Hands up. 1, 2.